Delegates, please give a warm welcome to MC Trevor Moore.
Thank you, everybody. How's everybody doing? Big round of applause. How was lunch today? Yes? Life is always better when we are slightly fed. It was a delicious meal. I want to thank the venue. Spectacular job. I look forward to seeing what they have tomorrow. By round of applause, how many of you had a chance to make your way to the trade show and see some of the exhibitors? Round of applause. Yeah. I have no doubt that they appreciate that support, and it's kind of a mutual respect. Thank you very much for doing that. Please keep that on for the rest of the event. We are just about ready to invite out a special guest here for us. Please, if I can have a big round of applause for Whitney Mosley, Brownlee LLP Associate, for our sponsor here today. Big round of applause. How are you? Good, good. So let's talk a little bit about your group and your organization. Some really cool things that are coming up we were talking about back there. But let's start with something interesting. You've got some roots in Saskatoon, yes?
Yes, I lived in Saskatoon for a year for graduate school, so it was great city to be in.
Excellent. Where are you based out of now?
Right now I'm out of the Calgary office.
Out of the Calgary office. Awesome. And you know, time of change and evolution and things are organizing. You've got a couple really cool things going on. One of them was, I believe, if I get it right, the municipal helpline.
Yep, so we have the municipal helpline just to offer municipalities advice on things, and anywhere from 15 minutes to half an hour. Municipalities do lots of things, so it can be helpful just to have a simple conversation.
For sure. Tell me a little bit about how that came about. I mean, it's an idea, but the seed planted somewhere. What was the stress, the anxiety that this solves for you? What were you seeing that created the need for this helpline?
I think, again, just because municipalities deal with...
Hang on.
Sorry?
Get you a fresh mic. Check 1, 2.
There we go.
There we go. Excellent. So back to the question. Take us through the moment. Like, how does that helpline come about? What was sort of some of the factors that led to the necessity of that helpline?
Again, I think just because municipalities deal with so many different things, there's always unique situations that come up that you just need a bit of extra advice on how to deal with it, and sometimes it's just, again, a quick conversation.
Yeah, it's that sort of timely of advice and opportunity when people need it, because it's pretty dynamic out there, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Second thing that's really exciting is your new Regina office. Tell us a bit about the Regina office.
Yep, so just this past year, we opened our office in Regina. So we have some lawyers rotating through right now just to expand our services in Saskatchewan.
Excellent. Well, let's have a huge round of applause for Whitney with Brownlee for their kind sponsorship. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Keep that round of applause going.
Thank you.
Well, we're thrilled about the next guest. It is now my pleasure to call upon the leader of the official opposition, Carla Beck. With over 80% of Saskatchewan's population living in an urban center, the continued engagement between the official opposition and SUMA and their membership is deeply appreciated. If we can please have a huge ovation and round of applause for Carla Beck.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Mayors and councillors, administrators, good afternoon. How are y'all doing? Seriously, what a time to be alive. It's really an honor to be able to address all of you here today, a room of leaders in our province. I want to say a special thanks to Randy and the board of SUMA, to Jean-Marc and his staff for the invitation to be here and for all of the hard work gathering us together. And I want to say thanks to each of you. I'm grateful for all of those who have taken leadership roles in their communities. I think that's always important, but it's especially important at a time like this. I've had the opportunity to speak with a number of delegates already here over the last couple of days. Many first-time councillors, many of those returning, and I even spoke to a few who thought that their time on council was done only to be convinced otherwise by those in their community. I'm grateful for all of you and your leadership. And I think you know just how important, just how high the stakes are right now. We are at a crossroads. And the discussions and the decisions that are made in rooms like these at this time will shape not only how we respond to the current challenges, but they'll also chart the course for the future, for our province and for our country. And while I do sincerely hope, I know we all do, that we return to precedented times again, I really miss those precedented times. It's on all of us in these roles of leadership to ensure that we learn the lessons that are in front of us and that we don't slide back into complacency. I think it's really clear that we can no longer take a business as usual approach to the challenges that we're facing. We've had one heck of a wake-up call. A wake-up call that has again laid bare the vulnerabilities in our supply chains, our trade infrastructure, in our economy, and in our communities. Now, we know that a lot of what we're facing right now simply isn't in our direct control. We see on again and off again, paused, maybe on again, threatened tariffs. We've even seen threats to our sovereignty from our closest and largest trading partner. We see tariffs on steel, devastating Chinese tariffs on canola meal, on canola seed or canola oil, peas, and pork. And frankly, and this is remarked often, the only constant seems to be chaos, without an end in sight. But that doesn't mean that we're powerless. It's how we control the things that are in our control right now, how we meet this challenge that is going to chart the future for this province and for our country. And you know what? If there is a silver lining, and I think there is, it's this. Right now in front of us, we have a clear opportunity to set aside some differences and approach this period, this challenge, with a sense of clarity about what needs to be done. What we've known for a long time needs to be done to ensure that bright future for this province and this country that we all want. And our mission as leaders, should we choose to accept, and I know that you have, is to chart a path through these challenges and come out the other side, more united, stronger, and more resilient than ever. Now, I would have certainly preferred a less dramatic wake-up call, and I know we all would have. Leadership is difficult, even in those precedented times. This is clearly not that. But leadership is especially important at all levels at times like these. And how we respond, it matters. It's clear, it's unfortunate, but it's clear that at least in the short term, we can no longer rely or be overly dependent on the United States as a stable trading partner. And we still have significant issues to deal with that were already there before these threats of tariffs. This is the challenge that faces those in leadership roles today. And the same divisions, the same thinking that got us here will not be how we make our way through to the other side. It's clear to me, clear to many that I've talked to, that we have to turn away from those invitations to further division. I think we have a real life, real-time cautionary tale about the danger of the politics of fear and division playing out to the south of us with devastating results. Ours has to be a different path. Cooperation, and I dare say compromise, from all levels of government, across provincial and across party lines, will be our best course. And those who sit in positions of power today, positions of influence, we're going to be studied and we're going to be judged by generations to come by how well we meet this challenge. No pressure, I know. The good thing is that this province has a pretty good track record when it comes to facing and overcoming challenges. Saskatchewan's not only blessed with abundant natural resources, we are blessed with our greatest resource, and that is the people of this province. Our can-do attitude, a history of risk-taking, of innovation, and tackling problems head-on. This is what has made us leaders on the national and international stage time and time again. Because Saskatchewan, when we are at our best, is known for working together, for caring about our neighbors and working with them, planning ahead to leave things a little bit better for the ones that are going to come after us. This is certainly the Saskatchewan that I grew up with. I grew up on a farm just outside the village of Lang. But this is not a Saskatchewan of the past. This is still the Saskatchewan that I see when I travel around this province, and we need to lean into that proud tradition. We need to meet not only the challenges of today, but we still have to put in the forethought, the planning needed to keep that important focus on the future of this province. And I'm very encouraged by the energy and the resolve that I see in this room, in so many rooms just like this, right across the province. We've been meeting with so many people across the province, in industry, business leaders, those who work on the front lines, right across the province. They all share that resolve. Now, speaking of teams, I've got a good section of our team right here in the second row. A number of our MLAs who are going to be here not only today, but throughout the week. And if you haven't had the chance to meet with them, I know many of you have, I really encourage you to. I'm pretty proud of them and the hard work that they're putting in. We had a little bit of a fight, actually, I'll let you in on some inside, with our whip, trying to organize who got to come and who had to stay back, because of course we're also debating the budget back in the legislature. I think that's my whip. They really value the leadership and the practical, solution-focused decision-making that we see coming out of this room. And like you, we also love this province, and we love this country. And you know, while we take our role as the official opposition very seriously, our job is to hold the government to account, to provide oversight, we are also looking to the future. But let me be clear about something else as well. Let's not confuse this. We are proud of this province and this country, but that doesn't mean that we don't understand that there are things, some very big things, that need changing. They do. What it does mean is that we care enough about this country and this province to do what is necessary to set ourselves up for success into the future and to tackle the issues that face us today. Further division at this critical time, talk of separation, would only play into the hands of those who think that we would make a good 51st state. That's not what Canadians want, and that's not what is going to happen. Not now, and not ever. I was hoping that was the reaction I was going to get. I was pretty sure. What I do see from people right across this province is a call for unity. Pride in Canada that is on full display in a way that I don't think I've ever seen in my lifetime. We saw that when we were at the World Men's Curling Championships in Moose Jaw, and people were belting out the national anthem. We see a renewed commitment to buying Canadian, buying local. And we also see a growing interest and appreciation for what we grow, we mine, we produce, we drill, and manufacture right here at home. You name it. An unrelenting love for this country is on full display, and it feels pretty good. But flag waving, even wearing the jerseys, that alone won't get us where we need to go. We need to take this renewed patriotism and forge a new approach, one where we work across this country from east to west and west to east, where all provinces, people in all regions of this country have the chance to thrive. Now, that clearly means an end to the carbon tax, but that alone will not get us where we need to go. We're incredibly proud, and I know you are too, of all that we produce and grow and manufacture here in this province. And we also know that we need to sell to more markets, especially with the unreliability, instability going on south of the border. But to truly realize the potential that I see in every corner of this province, we need to plan now, make the investments needed today to set us up to make good on that opportunity. So I do have some propositions. Don't let the Premier say I never propose. First, we need to dramatically expand both rail and port capacity, but also reliability and transparency of those systems. Second, we need to build a pipeline to the East Coast, not only to get our products simply practical, not only to get our products to Eastern Canada and beyond, but also to free up that precious rail space. Third, we need to strengthen our power transmission lines to meet the ever-growing, non-stopping demand for electricity. And we need to embrace an all-of-the-above approach to energy generation and continue to invest in the research and innovation that is going to take. You know, often in this province we think of, or some do, our landlocked position as a bit of a challenge to overcome. But when we're talking about energy generation and transmission, our position in this province, at the heart of this country and of the continent, can be a real strength. We also need to remove those internal trade barriers, working collaboratively to reduce unnecessary hurdles while maintaining standards. This cannot be a race to the bottom. This has to be about improving trade across our provinces. And this also includes investments to twin our national highway from coast to coast. It's quite a list for a leader of the official opposition. And I understand this will take cooperation from all levels of government. But friends, this simply has to be done. And as many voices as possible speaking out is going to be the start of how we get it done. And right now we have as close to a political consensus, even in the midst of a federal election on these issues, as I've ever seen in my lifetime. Still, it's going to take courage, creativity, compromise, and collaboration across provincial and partisan lines, across industries, and with workers and Indigenous voices at those tables. And while we work together to build for the future, we need to support each other here and now. We need to invest in the people of this province. I want to say this very clearly. Education, research, healthcare, childcare, housing, a labor force, a broadband strategy. These are not nice to haves. These are not wait for later projects. This is critical economic infrastructure for this province as well. To meet the challenges that we face today and make the investments that we need to support growth into the future, we need to pay attention here. I know that many of your communities are seeing an unprecedented housing crisis, rising crime across the province, and tragic levels of drug overdose and death. We need to make the investments in non-market housing and supports, embrace proven approaches to stem this crisis. With this issue, like so many others, waiting to make those investments, waiting to find those solutions, only costs us more in the long run. And while we do need to make investments in frontline officers, we also need an effective recruitment and retention strategy to fill those positions that are announced. That's a critical step. This won't be solved without that. Hard things are hard. Some of the issues that face us are incredibly complex. And like with so many issues, whether it's crime or addictions, housing, they won't be solved in small rooms in Regina or in Ottawa. We have to listen to local voices, leaders in this room, those who work on the front line, because you all know all too well the realities that you and your communities are facing right now. But I also know this about Saskatchewan people and certainly leaders in this province. They know where the challenges are, but they have been putting up their hands time and time again to be part of the solutions. We need to listen. This is where some of the most innovative and practical solutions are to be found, and my faith in that statement has only been restored time and time again as I talk to delegates here today. Now, I'm going to keep an eye on the time. I'm wrapping up. But as I do, I realize I'm standing between you and I think a prize draw, so I promise I'll be quick here. I want to say sincerely that I appreciate you giving me some time today to share some of our ideas. Now we want, and there's a whole crew of them there, I'll get them to stick up their hands, I think there's more to come, of our MLAs, we want to hear from you as well. We're going to be here for the rest of the day and into tomorrow, the next day, to listen and learn about your communities. I know our shadow minister has already met with many of your councils. We look forward to working with you in the days and weeks to come. We know that there's a lot of work to do, but being in this room again fills me with a sense that we can do this. Get her done. I respect all of you, your passion, your willingness to set time aside. I was outside the hotel yesterday and there was a woman who was elected, who's a delegate here. I couldn't name her if I had to, but I was listening to her on a conversation with her grandson. She was missing his hockey tournament. I know there are a lot of sacrifices to serve, but we're incredibly grateful that you've chosen to do so. This is an incredible province. Our number one strength has always been our people, and people like you in this room. We've got this. Let's focus on the future, and let's build it together. Thank you very much.
Delegates, please give a warm welcome to SUMA's VP of Cities and Mayor of City of Lloydminster, Jared Olbers.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to offer thanks on behalf of SUMA to Carla for taking the time to address our delegates today in your role as the leader of the official opposition. With more than 80% of the province's population living in Saskatchewan's hometowns, We appreciate the official opposition's continued engagement with our organization and our membership.